So, bonjour tout le monde. So, today is our last class. Like we are going to consacrer plus à la révision, right? And also, I just wanted to confirm a few things. Last time we completed the booklet on gender, right? We have covered all the units. Am I right? Let me share this with you. Donc, on a fait tous les 5 units qu'on a. With respect to, donc, from social inequality, on a fait jusqu'à historical approaches in gender, right? The last unit. You agree? You all agree with me? Dites-moi.
Oui, madame. Oui, madame, on a terminé.
On a terminé. Unit 5 aussi, on a terminé, n'est-ce pas?
Oui. Oui.
Right. Ali, have you already started the revision? Do you have any question on all the 5 units? Any of the 5 units? Question, clarification. If you want, I can go through the unit rapidly again, and then we can have a revision. Let's work one paper together. You section A and section B. So approximately the questions will be like that for the exams. And finally, I will give you certain tips for revision, how you're going to revise for the exams. This is how we are going to proceed for our lecture today. So first of all, let us look at the content itself. If you are all okay with the content, we can clear certain issues if you may have, and then we will proceed with our revision class. En passant, tout le monde, vous avez reçu assignment marks and feedback. Vous dites-moi oui ou non. Who has not received the assignments? Marks and feedback, I mean. Oui ou non vous êtes? I need to know. Let's check. Let me see. Okay. Donc the others, you confirm if you have received. Otherwise, I need to know, okay, if you have any issue, because this is our last class. And you just tell me if you haven't received your assignment. Okay. Those who have not received, maybe they can inform me right here so that I can look into the matter. Okay. So you have any questions with regards to your marks or your feedback or anything that you would like to ask? You're happy with your marks?
Oui, madame.
Okay. Donc ici, the module is quand même interesting and also it's straightforward. C'est pas difficile. And you know how I work, so we have already done one module together before. So it's not a big problem. That I am also satisfied with the way you have worked for the assignment. I was a bit skeptical because I gave you a case study, and some of you have referred to that. Most of you, in fact, have referred to the case study, and you have given the right observations, critical thinking that you have applied to the question. So for me, it was more or less I'm satisfied, except for one or two cases. But then I have sent the feedback as well. But in general, I'm okay with the assignment. I'm sure that you are going to do very well for the exams also. Okay, so this was broadly my feedback on the assignment. With regards to the course content, Pat question, so I would like to go rapidly so that you can have a picture of whatever we have discussed since week 1. But bien rapidement, I won't go into details. Donc, unit 1, what did we discuss? It was about social inequality, okay, and social work. Donc, on n'avait pas but we haven't yet got the gist of gender itself, because in unit 1 it was a bit general. We were talking about inequality to understand better what is unequal behavior, what is being unequal in the society. So we understood this by going throughout the unit, the different theories. First of all, we explain what is social inequality, right? Presence of unequal life chance, and at what levels does inequality happen, at individual level, societal level, and when it becomes a problem. Because inequality, if you remember, we said it's something that happens all the time with everyone, but we have to be careful when it starts affecting people, right? Donc, inequality or difference, on avait fait, right? Why does inequality matter? Donc, c'est ça, pourquoi. Then we also studied the theories of stratification and inequality. Donc, on avait vu the main sociological theories that you all knew with regards to functionalism, Marxism, and symbolic interactionism. Donc, c'est là, functionalism, a theory of social inequality and stratification. Donc là, on avait vu le travail de Davis and Moore, right? And what did they say? Some jobs are more important than others. They compared certain jobs with others. And we also find certain critiques to show them, to tell them that a job is important, no matter what type of job it is, as well as scavengers, cleaning jobs, till the work of surgeons and all. Then we have studied the Marxist theory, which talks a bit about exploitation at all levels, exploitation in education, family, religion, crime, and also in the household, right? With regards to workers, because Marx, first of all, he was focusing on inequality at work for all workers, not only for women. It's only later, during the early 1980s, late 1970s, that came the work of the Marxist feminists, Anne Oakley, etc. They came into the picture and started to fend for the rights of women. Then you have Weberian theory. So he talks about, he in fact is agreeable on what Marx said, but goes one step further to show that there are three sources of power in the society, right? So according to him, we have class, status, and power itself. Good. Then we also had a look at social closure. What is social closure? It's social exclusion. People being excluded from the mainstream society. And we also seen that social closure is something difficult for any society, and it should be avoided because it can create more discrimination, more frustration among people, and can lead to violence and chaos in the society. So we have to be careful, and every government, we know, even the Mauritian government is very careful about that. Okay. Then different types of inequality on ethnicity, on social inequality in our daily lives, and the inequality based on gender. Right. Donc c'est ça un petit peu unit 1. Good. Then unit 2, we talked about the social construction process of gender. This is where you have to start conceptualizing the terms gender and sex, differentiate between the two by saying that sex is something which is we can't change, or we can change nowadays due to technology and all, but it is something that as it is, either you are male or female, but nowadays of course we have different genders. But gender is something which is constructed, it is socially constructed, that we give meaning to that. The society gives meaning to that, and it changes from time to time, and also it is transmitted from generation to generation. Right? Donc voilà un petit peu sex and gender, masculinity and femininity, etc. Then gender as a social construct. Why it is a social construct? Remember, social construct is a theory. We have the theory of social constructionism. Voilà. Social constructionism is the theory that people's discernment of reality is partly or if not completely socially constructed. Right? Donc voilà un petit peu social construction. The first theories of gender differences. Donc là, il y avait disagreement between the biological theories and the sociological theories, where the biological theories maintain that there is the concept of nature. Women are made to bear children for reproduction purposes, and they have to cater for the children themselves. And then you have the work and anthropologists who mention about tribes, how people used to live in tribes and how it is different from what the biologists are saying. So a bit of a kind of different school of thoughts, right here. Margaret Mead to refer to the different tribes. Then you have socialization and gender. So what do we know about here is gender socialization is a concentrated form of socialization. It's like we are focusing on gender itself. So we are going to look at all the institutions one by one and their impact on gender. So what are areas of socialization? Family, schools, peer group, mass media, religion. Other factors contributing, you have poverty, lack of access. These are social determinants. They are unavoidable, inevitable. Pauvreté, l'accès à l'éducation, gender-based violence. Now you have some definitions of these terms: domestic violence, honor crime, gender-based violence, economic violence, hate crimes, femicide. You're not going to have for the exams to define these terms, but just you need to know what do they mean. Okay. The concepts of gender mainstreaming, gender equality, equity, etc., etc., etc. Voilà. Maintenant, unit 3, it was the core itself of the module. So institutionalization of gender inequality. What are institutions? We learned in this unit. Institutions, social structure, how the society is organized, right? The big infrastructure, you remember the big circle, and inside the big circle, you have different circles representing the institution. So each institution will have their roles in the society, and doing these roles will affect human behavior, shape our behavior also, as well as our socialization processes. Good. So definition of social institutions, functions of social, what are they doing? Okay. Social institutions and social inequality. Then we are going to talk about inequality in each institution. How do they influence gender, the plight of women, or how are they contributing to the important development of women in the society? So major social institutions, we have politics, right? We know that in Mauritius we have a severe deficiency in terms of women presence in the National Assembly. Though there are some efforts, but still it is quite debatable as compared to other countries around the world. And there are different factors explaining that. We discussed that in detail during our lecture. Then you have education. Education is important, it is relevant for secondary socialization avec les enfants, donc ranging from pre-primary school to tertiary education. Okay. Then economic is aussi, workplace, tout ça. Right? Economic, like the workplace situation, that people normally in terms of gender, there were different issues like maybe harassment, maybe glass ceiling, tout ça, ça on avait discuté. Then in the family, what do we have is a lot of, according to Marxist feminist, discrimination between the partners, where Marx talks about bourgeoisie and proletariat, where bourgeoisie is the husband and proletariat is the wife, and he mentions mostly about the patriarchal societies. Okay? So they talk about domestic labor, unemployment, economic dependency, violence in the family. Religion, all religions across the world, we know they are patriarchal and their impact on gender, women's rights and equality, why it is important. So first wave, second wave, third wave of feminism, tout ça. Right. The SDGs, how all these SDGs, 17 SDGs, are relevant to gender in one way or the other. Okay, this is a good reading that you need to maybe know, because we have all the SDGs that we need to meet by 2030. This is an analysis of all the SDGs where in one way or the other, like I said, women are concerned, whether it is in technology, in poverty, in education, in access to water, access to sanitation, everything. They have related the SDG to gender, which I find very interesting, right? Et puis gender equality in the work, in social work require, oui, significance of gender relations in the social work. Pourquoi c'est important pour les social workers? Because we are dealing with inequality, we are dealing with providing justice and also helping around people who are in distress, right? So the main gist of this unit was to adopt a gender sensitive social work approach. Huh? So the work of Whitehead and Kabir, right, and gender relations in social work. Why it is important? We have the work of Salomon, right, talking about social work and training, training in of social workers. Okay, gender sensitive social work practice, feminist social workers, right. Then lastly, you have theoretical approaches on gender development and gender equality. So this, like I said, it is a bit hierarchical. All the events that have led to gender developments or developments, and also the happenings that we are having in terms of gender in our society today, with regards to access to voting strategies, access to water, access to health, access to all the facilities, and equality and inequality as such. So when did discussion start? At that time where women didn't even have the right to vote. Right? They were neglected in development. Their voices were not heard. So we have 3 steps, the WID, WAD, and gender and development, GAD. Read what and the GAD. Huh? So if you read them one by one, you try to understand, you will see the chronology and also the logic behind. Okay. So I won't go through it again because we have already done that. Gender equality, on parle aussi un petit peu sur Maurice, right? Constitution, the Gender Act, okay, Sex Discrimination, Child Protection Act, the Child Protection Act qu'on vient de revoir, non, the Children's Act, sorry, en 2020, Equal Opportunity Act, Conventional Elimination of all forms of discrimination against women. Now, again, Mauritius is signatory of all these conventions. Okay. African Charter, CRC. Ici, le agenda de 2030, hein, de SDGs qu'on vient de voir. Et puis, the National Gender Policy. Good. No, the main SDG for gender equality is SDG 5. Achieve gender equality and empowerment of all women and girls. Good. Voilà. I'm going through the unit rapidement. Donc, just to refresh your minds a bit of what we have covered. Question? Claire pose tout là?
Madame,
Oui.
oui, une question. Pour other factors contributing to gender inequality, il y a gender-based violence. How
Oui.
it contributes to gender inequality?
The gender-based violence are ultimately a problem because, like we know, violence is a violation of human rights. We can't violate people's rights. Either counted gender-based violence. It can be violence against women. It can be violence against men as well. So whether it is in the domestic setting or at work or in any setting, we can't allow a woman or even a man to be harassed, to be violated, either physical, verbal, or even neglected. Okay, because we are living in a democracy, it's our fundamental right to be respected and to live freely in the society. So in terms of that, it is a factor which affects gender inequality. Parce que, comme on peut dire, nous encore en 2024, but we still see a high level of domestic violence and crime rates in our society. Battered women, even battered men, we know there are many cases, but they are underreported or unreported. So this is a case for concern parce que we can't allow, là, on parle de technologie, on parle de beaucoup de achievements, but still we have problems of inequality in terms of gender violence in our society. Vous avez compris? Have I made myself clear?
Oui, madame. Madame, une autre question.
Oui.
Can you just briefly talk about the three waves?
Feminism, waves of feminism.
Yes.
Okay, let's just go to the handout so that I give you the right information. Unit 5, ça je crois. Unit 5 or Unit 4, no? So it will be almost the same like les démarches qui avaient été faites, right? Regardez par exemple ici, WID originated in 1970s as a result of the three major feminist waves concerning feminist conditions. So what were the waves, in fact? Where the first wave was those women's suffrage movement which originated in later 19th century. Donc là où je parlais de women didn't even have the right to vote. Un premier démarche que les gens ont réalisé que it's now high time that women also are included in the development process. Par exemple, premièrement, nous donnons un droit de vote, right? So they were the one who struggled for the rights, equal right to vote and participate in politics. The second wave was for those who sought to deal with sociocultural inequalities that women face in their daily lives. Par exemple, reproductive rights, sexual violence, sexual discrimination, and glass ceiling. So this was the time where they first started the discussion, right? Like I told you, the late 1970s and early 1980s. Okay, and the third wave emerged as a publication of the Marxist feminist Esther Boserup. So she was very prominent feminist, where her book Women's Role in Economic Development, I think I have her book. So she gave a lot of information on the economic exploitation of women, how women are underexploited, no, sorry, overexploited in the labor market, and she is not remunerated properly. She is even given unequal pay as compared for men for the same type of job. And she would accept because at least she is getting something out of nothing. So women were well known for cheap labor. Okay, when they entered the labor market, it's because mainly they agreed to work for cheap labor at a wage lower than that of their male counterparts. Okay, the result of her study showed how increasingly specialized division of labor associated with women with development undermines or neglects the value of women's work and status, especially in developing countries. Even in Mauritius, it was the case. Comme madame, tu commences à dans l'usine, donc they were known to be unskilled workers parce que pas dans l'éducation. So they would, like that, they would accept to work for cheap labor and they would do the mass of the work, so which was not recognized, which was not there to uh, to, to be remunerated first of all as it should be, it aussi given importance, given value. It was like taken for granted, right? Donc voilà un petit peu the three waves of feminism. C'est bon?
Oui, madame, merci.
Merci. D'autres questions? Okay, let us work on the paper I'm telling you. Attendez. This was your assignment, right? Assignment va terminer. Papier 2 décembre 2023. Can you see my screen? So this is section A. All right. As you know, section A is compulsory, 40 points. Donc, il y avait deux parties, section A, section B. Okay. And then section B, there were 3 questions. You had to, the students have to answer 2 questions only. Okay, so let's look at section A first. Well, you can look at the question, try to work it out, mais pas en détail parce que you won't have time. Jot down the main points, and if you have issues, you just ask me in the chat. I'm right here. Okay, donc je vous donne 10 à 15 minutes for section A. It's okay? So you work it out and then we discuss. Okay, can we look at question 1 together? Though it refers to social inequality in general. Let's go. Okay, wealth, income inequality. Suppose you have a question language for the exam. We're going to start by what? By having, let's say, a definition of gender equality, maybe. And then you discuss one by one what are the possibilities, the urgency, need for action when inequality occur, for example. And then you start relating about gender inequality at all levels that exist in the society, whether it is income, whether it is ethnic, whether it is class with regards to status, you see, whether it is in relation to like human relation, interpersonal relations, right? Why? So inequality at all levels can be discussed in this part. Not only health and gender. Yes, patriarchy. Okay. Deuxième partie, Weber. Donc ça c'est direct. Three sources of power identified by Weber. On vient de voir, n'est-ce pas? Power, class, status. Then you define. And then the concept of social closure. Donc ça aussi on a vu tout à l'heure là, with regards to social exclusion. Social exclusion, unequal access to society, and it is also important to note that when we talk about social closure, yes, class economic power, oui. Vous avez d'autres réponses à ajouter? Les autres? Oui. Shivani?
Madam, when,
Oui.
when we are talking about concept of social closure, mais on peut donner des exemples aussi dans les concepts.
Oui, oui, bien sûr.
Okay.
But then you can write, of course, it is important when you mention about examples, when you give more hints to the examiner that you have understood, and it was part of critical writing as well. But also, one thing I wish to remind you, during the exams, you get your marks allocated for each question. For example, the concept of closure is 5 marks. You write for 5 marks, don't write for 15, 20 marks. This is important because no matter how much you write, you will get only maximum will be 5, ou bien 4.5 sur 5. Okay, you get my point? When you see that there are 20 marks, then you elaborate well, or 30 marks, then you elaborate well. But you write according to the number of marks allocated to each question. This is I have noticed many students do that issue. Like they write too much for marks which allocate only 5 or 6 or 10 marks. But be careful. Yes, so class, your status, and you are answering for Weber, maybe, right? Social economic prestige. Yes, social closure, the strategy used to monopolize. Yes. Social closure is also like when we refer to social exclusion, it's a feeling that people feel they are excluded. They are not in the mainstream society. Okay. C'est bon là? Fourth section A.
Oui, madame, c'est bon.
Okay. Now we move to section B. Donc là, comme vous savez, you have a choice. Hein? Il y a 3 questions. Donc, for the exams, you will need to answer only 2. Donc, I can si vous pouvez voir. Attendez, hein, can have 2 pages in one sheet. It's okay. Just work on these 2. Vous pouvez voir là. Mais c'est trop petit. Can you read that? Or it's too small characters. I need to enlarge.
Non, c'est bon, madame, on peut voir.
Allez, c'est bon. Donc, question 2, ça. Partie A, partie B. Et puis, question 3 et 4. Ok, terminé.
Madame, j'ai une petite question pour la première question, section A.
Oui.
Pour 20 points, on est supposé parler de combien de forms of inequality, à peu près?
La question, c'est-à-dire, il y a deux parties, right? Differentiate between
Oui.
term, sex and gender. Pour la deuxième
Non,
partie, vous me dites.
ça concerne section A.
Ok, attendez.
Section A, question 1, la première partie qui a 20 points. Je souhaite savoir, pour les examens par exemple, combien de différentes formes d'inégalité on est supposé parler pour 20 points.
Donc, ça dépend. Disons 4 à 5, 4 to 5 forms of inequality. Then you develop further.
D'accord, ok.
Ok. Mais il n'y a pas de nombre, un certain number of words, limit. Ça, il n'y a pas. It's just the content. Once you feel you have answered the question, it's okay. I was just referring to questions like where you have only 5 marks, 3 marks. Don't write too much. You waste your time during the exams. Okay? To worry about the contents as such, but only with regards to the answers, the quality of the answers, the arguments that you are writing as such is important. Okay? So, like for example, here, differentiate between the terms sex and gender. Donc, it's straightforward. You give the example, physiological differences between sex and gender. Sometimes others may just add an example, for example, a boy, girl, a man, a woman. Then gender is the social construct of gender. It is a social construction. It is constructed by the society. Huh? So you can give examples of genders, for example. Huh? Donc this is for 5 marks, it should be okay. Right? Et puis deuxième partie, it is the theory of social constructionism. Now you need to write about social construction of gender, what it is, and also you can refer to the biological and anthropological theories of gender to assess different schools of thoughts. Like biological theories talks about, we just mentioned in the beginning, how it is important to differentiate between sex and gender, between the primary and reproductive role of women. So they highlight mainly these issues. And the anthropological theories, the study of the tribes of Margaret Mead. Okay. So this is where she identified different ways, different tribes would react, would do things differently. Okay. Next question, elaborate on the function of social institutions. Alors, si c'est direct, you have it in the handout. Et puis, the institution of education and workplace. Donc là, il y a 10 et 10 points. Et pareil, right? Education, the function of education, what it does, and what are the different problems, difficulties, disparities that exist in the Mauritian society with regards to education. Workplace pareil, harassment, glass ceiling, unequal pay, discrimination in the workplace, gender inequality in the workplace. Pour la question numéro 4, vous avez pu répondre? Gender social work practice. So we have to adopt a gender sensitive social work practice. What does it mean? To include gender at all levels. N'est-ce pas? What else you want to add in this part? It's okay? We role of social workers in providing social support, education, advocating, what you mean? Yes, providing justice, social justice, equality, looking at different levels of equality and inequality with regards to gender in the society. Hein? Donc, vous avez compris un peu the question. Okay, vous êtes? We have done a quick revision. Est-ce que vous avez d'autres questions? So with regards to your exams, right? Pareil, vous avez deux sections. Your paper is 2 hours, section A and section B. Okay. Donc in section A, you will have compulsory questions. It's about pareil, 40 marks. And in section B, you have a choice. Out of 3 questions, you need to answer only 2. Okay. So for section A, you need to revise the first part of the module, the unit, mainly units 1. You're going to have, pareil pour assignment, you're going to have a small case study And based on that, you're going to look at to identify the gender problems, issues, and explain on that. Okay. Bien sûr, you look at the number of marks and then you write about the answers. The gender differences, gender impact, inequality in the society. Okay. So this is for section A. You have only one question divided into small parts, small sub-questions. Okay. Then in section B, you have questions on unit, c'est-à-dire the theories. The theories, theoretical perspectives of gender equality, inequality. You have another question on gender inequality in the different institutions. In the workplace, in the family, tu sais? Et puis, vous avez une question sur relevance of the workplace in social work practice. Relevance of gender in social work practice. Sorry. Ok? Vous avez bien compris? Vous avez des questions? So I wish you best of luck for the exams, and I'm sure it will be okay. You're going to work very well, and best of luck also for all your endeavors ahead, and wish you success. And those students who are doing dissertation with me, kindly continue the work and be consistent, especially into whatever you are doing. I hope to hear from you soon. Okay, see you. Au revoir.
Merci, madame. Au revoir.
Au revoir.